Well, good morning. I'm reading from the book of Isaiah this morning. I'm noticing a few things that God says about himself that are just absolutely incredible. In verse 18 of chapter 45, he says, "For thus saith the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it and hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord, and there is none else." God's the creator, and he created this earth, this entire universe, but he especially created the earth with a very special purpose for it to be inhabited. He created the life that he placed on this planet. And when you think about its distance from the sun, that's perfectly situated so that we don't burn up or freeze. When you think about the fact that plants grow up and are able to feed the critters and us that live here on this place, and you just think about the way that the earth recycles itself, and it's amazing. It's just absolutely incredible. The more that I look at it, the more that I study it, the more in awe I am of God, and I realize that his word is true. He goes on in verse 22 and he says, "Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God and there is none else." Not only is he the only God, but he's the only source of salvation. If you will look unto God, you're going to be saved. You can be saved if you'll trust in him. He says, all the ends of the earth. He's not just the God of one particular group of people. He is the God of every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl. He goes on in chapter 46 and verse 9 and says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am God and there is none else. I am God and there is none like me." That's 3 times now that he has reminded us that you can't take God and put him into a category with anything or anyone else. He is absolutely different. He is absolutely other. He is God and there is none like him. There's not another one like him. He doesn't fit into any kind of group or category or box. And he goes on in verse 10 and he says, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, "My counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure." Not only is God very absolutely, completely unique, but he is all-knowing. He knows the end from the beginning. And he declares his plans up front before they take place. And he's not hoping and he's not guessing. There's a lot of times that we, like the weatherman, he comes in and he says, "I'm looking at all these models and I'm looking at these things and I think that this is all going to come together and it's going to do this and there's a really high probability and chance of this happening." That's not what God's talking about. God's talking about the fact that he can step outside of time, look into time, and he knows the end from the beginning. And in the midst of all of that, he is working his plan out, and it will come to pass the way that he wants it. Have you ever made a plan? I make plans all the time. I make plans sometimes that I have, 4 errands that I need to run. And invariably, in the midst of running those 4 errands, something changes. I get a phone call, or I show up at a place that doesn't have what I need, or who knows, all kinds of different things happen, and my plans get changed and altered and adjusted, and sometimes they just don't get done. And sometimes my plan's no good. I come up with a plan and it just flat won't work. But not God. Not only does he know the end from the beginning, but he says, "My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." God's plans will be carried out. I just want to encourage you this morning, you can trust him. "Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God and there is none else." If you'll trust in the Lord Jesus Christ, you can be saved. And you can trust him because he's the creator. He knows everything that's going on. He is absolutely powerful. He makes his plans come to pass, and we need to get on board with his plans. God bless you. I hope you have a great day.